There's only one rule in this jungle. When the lion's hungry, he eats.
Oh, a countering shot.
The uppercut again there from Billam-Smith. Nice left hand as well.
Big shot.
His trainer calls him a sadist, not as criticism, as a compliment. Because when it gets truly hard, when the crowd starts to doubt and the opponent smells blood, that's exactly when this man shows his real face. He doesn't hunt for the knockout. He presses, buries you in punches, breaks you from the inside.
He's got Duxar on the retreat here. Lovely body shot.
And on the outside, the gentleman. Bournemouth, a seaside town in Dorset where the big news is the weather and the tide. Not Manchester, not London, not the obvious address for a world champion. But the Brit had a way of making the unobvious inevitable through patience, volume, and a stubbornness his coaches once mistook for limitation. In the amateur ranks, 32 wins, 11 losses. Solid, but without shine. Twice he reached the ABA Championship final. Twice he came up short. The Olympic road closed. The amateur game hardened his character, but gave him no shortcut to the top.
Stay low.
What's that?
Stay low.
He turned professional at 27, a late start by boxing standards, the age when most fighters are already thinking about what comes next.
A good pressure here from Billam-Smith. Serious marking on the face of Rez.
But from day one, Shane McGuigan was in his corner, one of the most respected trainers in the country, a man who had already built champions. The partnership turned out to be long, decisive, and, by McGuigan's own admission, richer in discovery than either of them expected.
He is now indestructible, and he grew with every win.
His first knockouts came via the body. Not the head, the body.
Ivanyi, right in centre now. This is good work, good ball.
Even then it was clear. This man wasn't chasing the highlight reel finish. He was looking for the place to dig in. By the summer of 2019, the record read 9 wins, 8 knockouts, 0 defeats.
It's a fight between two very impressive young men.
The Brit was building momentum, and right at that moment, fate put Richard Riakporhe in front of him.
There's plenty of punishment, and he's got...
Undefeated contender, ice-cold puncher, one right hand that could end everything with a single touch.
From Riakporhe, and McCarthy's in desperate trouble now.
Billam-Smith, we've done in 6.
How close he was to losing that fight against Sam.
Had a very extensive amateur career, a good amateur.
That freakish kind of.
The gentleman outboxed him for 5 rounds. Sharper jab, faster hands, complete control of distance.
The game very, very closely. Messy at times, possibly, but... Not just yet, anyway. Settled. Billam-Smith looks kind of more at home in there, really.
Riakporhe looked heavy against his volume and speed.
Jab. It's a decent...
I'd like to see Riakporhe get busy with the jab.
Hasn't landed an awful lot clean.
No, but
Riakporhe is half landed, then a big left hand. What we've seen of him in his career, close and just smothered him, and tries to jab
and smother him. Don't give him the room to tee those shots.
But Riakporhe wasn't rushing. He was hunting, patiently, quietly, waiting for one moment.
Riakporhe looking for that big right hand, missed it there, managed to extricate himself and was looking to get to work. Right hand. Riakporhe at decent range.
In the 6th, he found it, a heavy one too.
Doesn't keep the fight moving at all. Left hand
That's an act here. He doesn't want to be out. He doesn't want to...
landed. Bit of damage to the bridge of the nose there, I think, of Billam-Smith, who was caught, but again, he used the ropes well there.
In the 7th, the referee called a count, a debatable knockdown, but the scorecards don't care about debate.
Good body shot. Good left hand upstairs as well, followed by the right of Billam-Smith. 6-4 at the moment, into the final minute of it.
Yeah, looking strong here.
Right hand there from Riakporhe, and he's just beginning to come apart a little bit here. Billam-Smith, he's looking for the uppercut there, Riakporhe, and the left hand. Billam-Smith just covering up, trying to grab hold. And are the ropes keeping him up? I'd say they were, and the referee could call this a absolutely right. He was leaning far too far back into them. Billam-Smith, he'd been sent back into them, and Riakporhe just between rounds, but...
In the ninth, the right hand landed clean, the mouthpiece flew, the head snapped back. The Brit stayed upright, but 10 rounds went the wrong way.
He's just letting go.
But big uppercut there.
Lovely uppercut of Billam-Smith.
Good body shot from Billam-Smith.
Great right to the body there from Billam-Smith. Riakporhe looking to try and put it on him into the final minutes of...
Landing the hardest shots, but...
Looking for that right hand. I think there's lots of fighters on the rise, lots of good fights to be made as these two just let their hands go in the final 10 seconds.
One professional defeat in 5 years. It lodged like a splinter.
Middle cruiserweight champion, Riakporhe.
Less than 5 months later, the gentleman stepped in with Craig Glover for the vacant Commonwealth Cruiserweight title and delivered a masterclass.
Seems to be coming from. We'll keep an eye on that one.
Look for Billam-Smith to throw.
Long authoritative jab, hard right cross on the way in, distance controlled throughout.
Billam-Smith just steps in, lets his hands go and then moves on to the shoulder.
A physically stronger fighter. It's draining. It's something that Billam-Smith wants. It's been a grueling 2 rounds. Good counter left hook from Billam-Smith giving up in this round.
A bit of body work then.
In the fourth, he deliberately dropped the jab. Playing tired, Glover took the bait, came forward, and walked straight into a 4-punch combination.
But at any moment, one punch could end this fight. The way they're exchanging, how hard they're hitting, and their total disregard for defense.
Well, that's a good left hand there from Billam-Smith, and he knocks him down. There was an uppercut followed by the left hand, and he went down.
Knockdown, seconds before the bell.
Right at the end of the round, he just needs to regain his feet. And Billam-Smith...
In the fifth, the hunter didn't wait. Left hook to the head, second knockdown.
Try and push him in, but he's got to too gung-ho because there is a long time remaining in the round, but he can get this done here, Billam-Smith, and he knows it. He just needs to keep putting them together, and that was a lovely left hook, and Glover goes down to his knees again here, and Billam-Smith, I think, feels that this...
Glover got up. 2 heavy straight rights to the temple.
He's having a good look here, and he's running on empty here, Glover, and Mark Lyson jumps in as he...
The referee stopped it, and McGuigan would later say,
He's a completely different person, just a completely different person. And he surpassed what I believed he was capable of.
and the belt went to Bournemouth.
And hoists his man aloft.
For the next 2 years, the Brit methodically built his collection.
Strong and tough, and he has to go down again. And look at this. Oh, that walks into one. Countering shot.
Title after title. He wasn't just winning. He was dismantling opponents from the inside and taking everything on the table.
Press that up a little bit, disguise it.
Well, Dusar's in trouble there.
His confidence was turning into steel. And right at this moment, he gets his chance at a real war.
I'm coming in here to smash him the bits. I just can't wait for Saturday night.
How close the atmosphere has just changed in this outdoor arena.
In July 2021, Irishman Tommy McCarthy arrived with 3 belts on the line. Awkward, rough, relentless. McCarthy had no interest in clean boxing. He wanted a grinding, ugly war.
Good jab. High and tight. McCarthy just rolls under a left hook, and again, right-handed. He's buzzed Chris Billam.
17 seconds left.
Very little time left on the clock, and
the gentleman found the answer through the body jab, over and over, with surgical precision.
Billam-Smith working his way into the contest. He's been invested a little breakthrough as McCarthy.
By the 8th, McCarthy's ribs were hurting and his feet were getting heavy.
Body work here, but McCarthy, fighters leave a little bit of themselves in the ring as well. McCarthy, Billam-Smith just tries to feint into range. They come together.
12 rounds, split decision to the Brit. A debatable win. Questions remained, and he wanted to silence them. In April 2022, he did.
Take hands.
The rematch with McCarthy needed no debate. He came in with a cold, calculated plan, and every time the Irishman pushed forward, punishment followed.
Good left and more in round here. Is he beginning to really feel it? These good right hand again. The dice every now and then.
By the 8th, it was over. Cornered on the ropes, buried under a combination, finished with a right cross. First fight, courage. Second fight, control, discipline, and destruction.
And still the European and Commonwealth Cruiserweight Champion, Bournemouth, the Gentleman.
After the McCarthy rematch, Billam-Smith returned home with a new reputation. The doubts were gone, the belt stayed in Bournemouth, and every successful defense only strengthened his position at the top of the domestic scene. The crowds grew louder, the expectations grew higher. What had started as the journey of a hard-working local fighter was becoming something much bigger. Now he wasn't just a champion. He was a champion who defended his crown, finished opponents, and owned his hometown ring.
Oh, good the uppercut again there from Billam-Smith. Nice left hand as well. Big shot.
The next step was no longer about regional belts. It was about the world stage.
I celebrated a bit too early, but that's what, came to my mind straight away. Let's go to Dean Court and let's get a world title.
27th of May, 2023, Vitality Stadium, Bournemouth. Not just a WBO title fight, a personal reckoning. Lawrence Okolie had once trained under the same McGuigan. They knew each other from the inside. "We weren't best friends," the Brit admitted later, but McGuigan knew Okolie inside out, and that became the sharpest weapon in his arsenal.
I'm in any trouble finding Hussein Mohammed early on.
Tall, long-armed, with a heavy jab and an unbeaten record, Okolie came in with a plan to use his size, smother the fight with clinches, and grind his man down.
To the body.
The gentleman didn't let him.
Into the body there from Okolie. Really snap distance and just shoot it straight right hand quite high on the head. And Okolie just...
In the fourth, a left hook coming in sent Okolie to the canvas for the first time in his professional career.
Ropes.
Something broke in him. The fifth and seventh saw the referee deduct points for persistent holding.
Otherwise, Okolie's just going to wait, and then try and release that right hand. Left hand into the body. That's round with the body. He's taking that space with the front foot. Okolie's offering it, and he's taking it. Well, that was something straight out of the game.
In the 10th, second knockdown.
High, the work rate high, and some of these rounds are last few. Okolie goes down to his knees, and the referee, Marcus McDonald, is kicked.
In the 11th, face already cut. Third, the crowd erupted.
Left hook on the inside, and disentangles himself, and comes to left hand. Down goes Okolie. There was a punch in there that time, and he's counted again.
Majority decision. The WBO belt in the hands of a Bournemouth boy, on his own turf. The same man who'd been written off for a late start was standing at the top of the division, at home. The first defense, against Polish contender Masternak, was stopped in the 8th. The corner threw in the towel themselves, broken from the inside, as usual.
Leads into the left hook to the body.
Then, it was time to settle the old debt.
Two hungry fighters who want to run it back, and this time for a world title. There really is nothing like a domestic world title fight.
5 years, one man, Richard Riakporhe, June 15, 2024, Selhurst Park. The roles reversed. Riakporhe came in as the challenger, the gentleman as champion.
Tries to slide underneath that lead jab hand. One thing Riakporhe is absolutely massive. Right hand into the body.
The Brit didn't come to outbox him, he came to neutralize. Long jab, constant body work, no room to load up the right hand.
For Billam-Smith to force a pace. Good, clean, stiff jabs, but I think certainly Rance took...
Billam-Smith though using his own jab.
Halfway through the fight, Riakporhe's hands were dropping, physically and mentally.
Fairly soon on the plan that obviously has been a very clear short right hand for Riakporhe, but he just can't get those punches off. Those there though, lands a
See more punches from Richard. Is nice round 8. Got clips of a good hook there.
He had his moments. One right hand landed clean, sent the Brit's mouthpiece flying. 5 years ago, that kind of shot could have changed everything. This time, just a footnote. Riakporhe wasn't himself. Heavier, slower, carrying extra mass that added power but took away speed.
But when you're watching the fight, you can see at any time it can change.
In many ways, it's been quite easy to score this because Billam-Smith with the reeling them off.
The bet on the knockout never paid off. The gentleman gave him neither the space nor the time to cash it in.
Working contest, you just have to look at the face of the winner to know that this has been very, very...
Unanimous decision. 5 years of waiting closed.
It's just in me. I don't know what it is. It's just a growth mindset, and I just want to keep improving, whether that's in or out the ring.
A lot of pressure on his shoulders. Here we go.
November 2024, Riyadh and Gilberto Zurdo Ramirez, former light heavyweight world champion. Heavy hands, high boxing IQ, the toughest test of his career.
Upsets. So he's not used to being the underdog and causing the upset. A little bit of a rhythm now.
In the 7th, a powerful shot cracked his ribs.
You throw a hook. Try to beat that shot. Nice left from Zurdo.
The Brit worked 12 rounds with a fractured rib and both hands damaged.
Sergio, I feel like Ramirez, even though he's 33 years old, there's one right there, but...
Both guys standing in front of each other, rock and sock 'em, giving as much as it takes, man. Look at this beauty.
Incredible fight!
The unanimous decision went to Ramirez. The belt was gone. But the gentleman didn't disappear. In April 2025 at Tottenham Hotspur Stadium, American Brandon Glanton arrived, carrying a 2-year grudge and talk of brain damage. The Brit admitted those words rattled him so badly, he genuinely considered pulling out of the fight, just to cut the man's payday. He turned to his breathing coach. He got through it.
The finishers has to fire back, and he's going to be
Throw the jab to the body as well. You're just seeing him there, he just real ambition.
spotted the body shot so off Smith just before that.
12 hard rounds, a slippery canvas, constant body exchanges.
Bulletproof chin there, they were free now. Beautiful right uppercut from Billam-Smith.
Smith, he's due for that uppercut.
One of those, comparison to 55. When the bell goes.
Unanimous decision. After the final bell, an embrace. Respect won out over all the noise that came before. McGuigan calls him a sadist. It's the most honest compliment you can pay a fighter. The gentleman is at his best precisely when it hurts, when everyone doubts, when the only option is to absorb, endure, and break the other man first. He turned professional at 27 with no Olympic pedigree. Got beaten once, came back and took the rematch. Lost the belt, stayed in the division. June 6th, 2026. Bournemouth. Home again. Not the most obvious address for a world champion, but this Brit story made it obvious a long time ago.